So this video is a sort of outline of a series that I would like to be making for a group that has started here on YouTube called the Single Eye Movement. And I will link their channel here. Thank you guys for your work, for your effort, and I want to sort of outline where I see things going in the next few centuries. And as a sort of explorer, as a person who is very much interested in truth and the betterment and the advancement of humanity being one of my more serious goals as a scientist, as a member of society. I don't want to focus my energy on shaming or dragging through the mud those people who were deceived by some of the more serious lies of the 20th century. And I'm taking this back, I'm rewinding this to the time when Galileo played the church, fought the church on the nature of the heliocentric worldview. Because in my view, in my vision for the changes that the new observations are going to bring to the culture, there's going to be a sort of rewinding that takes place, or perhaps a sidestep over to these other esoteric traditions that have sort of kept the flame alive of the understanding of the old knowledge, which was only apprehendable through experience, through practice, and through the mind's eye, rather than being something experimentally reproducible. Now, there have been a few people who have tried to shift the paradigm, given the existing experiments, the Michelson-Morley experiment, for example, the truth about the nature of the photon spin entanglement. And while some of the modern theories are enticing, I believe that Einstein was correct when he said that God does not play dice with the universe. And so the probability that has been introduced by the quantum mechanics to explain the anomalies in the quantum mechanical experiments, I believe can be sorted out rationally and mechanically by understanding the underlying wave mechanics in a more accurate way. And the only relative contemporary I have in the scientific realm is a man by the name of Walter Russell, who was Theodore Roosevelt's advisor on certain things. And I don't know why Russell's paradigm wasn't adopted. I think the reason is because it is too big of a movement, it's too big of a shift to let go of the solidity and the validity of some of our more cherished theories that are now the realm of religion, and false religion at that. But rather than dragging the Apollo people through the mud, rather than dragging NASA through the mud about the path that they chose, thinking that they were going to be able to achieve things that maybe they couldn't, or using that program to game with the nature of reality, defying the true nature of what was previously known to be as God, I think that's a terrible mistake, and I think that they're going to pay for it dearly. I'm not the guy who's going to call them to the gallows on that. I think that that may happen, but I'm not the guy that's going to do that. I'm the guy that's trying to look at the things that we can say support these more esoteric truths to move the paradigm scientifically. And so science is going to be in crisis soon, because the fraud that was started back then, that is seemingly acceptable for political reasons, is going to be called to the carpet. And whenever you go to war, the first rule of engagement is know your enemy. You don't want to fight somebody that's not your enemy, first off. You don't want to fight somebody who's trying to show you something. You don't want to tear down the finger that's pointing at something that might save your ass. And so I found that most of the people who get astrotometry are holding the finger up secretly or pointing it at themselves when they get it. When they really get it, when they see some of these people who are in the scientific, I would say the brainwashed Muppet crowd, when they wake up, they're very upset. They're very disturbed about the lack of consistency between reality and what they were taught, and it becomes apparent that they were taught what they were taught in order to control and manipulate them, and not because it's true. And that, again, that's a problem for politics and for social engineers rather than scientists and explorers like myself. But I'm the guy that's going to give you the heads up on what's coming down the pike because of what has been discovered. Now, as far as I know, all of my discoveries are with the connection between the sun-grazing comet and the hypertime symmetry between the region it will impact on the sun. That stuff, it seems like it's novel. I don't think that the people who had taken this other path, who had taken the Copernican path, realized what they were looking at when they saw this. I don't think they're intentionally deceiving people necessarily to the extent that they actually are. I don't think they know the extent to which they are deceiving the world about the true nature of reality. And therein lies some very, very serious problems about their foibles, about their missteps. And so I'm trying to approach this from a sort of shamanic cultural deconstructor. I'm satisfied with the fact that there seems to be some movement. I don't think it's enough movement. I think that certain issues need to be treated more expeditiously than others. I think that there's certain truths about the nature of the space up there that if mankind does not properly apprehend and start dealing with, that he's going to find himself in a very, very compromising position with other forces of nature that have been known about for a long time, but have been the downfall of human civilizations over and over. And these are chronicled in some of the sacred texts. But the details, the devil is in the details. The details about what these things are, how they manifest, is what I am hunting. And as a sort of potentially another demon hunter for your troop, that would be an honor at this point. But we have to be honest. If we can't be honest, if we can't be true about what is scientifically, spiritually, etc. correct, then we're not going to succeed. And so when we're looking over there, when we should be looking over here, and ignoring it on purpose, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, that's not my school. That's not my camp. I don't camp there. And so if I see that happening, I'll probably be gone with the wind very quickly. But the details about what I'm saying about the relationship between the sun and the earth are the most profound things. What is now experimentally, observationally correct about that is unbelievable from the standpoint of someone who was brought up believing these other myths, these other fairy tales about the nature of our reality. And so that's where I'm really kind of going with this, and I'll give you some more detail in the next video.